Okay, so today we are reviewing a Jillian Michaels video. Now, Jillian Michaels is famous for appearing on Biggest Loser. She was one of the most intense coaches on there. I'm actually an open book on this. I think we're going to learn something, I hope, both good and bad, and we'll get into it.
I'm bored with the pathetic story. It bores me. Get on the ladder. Are you ready to work?
It's an interesting start. The pathetic story. The stories that we tell ourselves. You know, how often do we allow ourselves to be limited by the fact that we just make stuff up in our heads? And we're all guilty of it. It's just this cohort of people have done this through food and lack of exercise.
Are you ready to work? If you quit on me again, you go home, and no one's gonna chase you. No one.
I mean, if you think about it, it's quite an inspirational position to be in. You know, who doesn't need to kick up the arse every now and then? And who doesn't need to be kept accountable? And we do sometimes need people to chase us, all of us.
What the am I here for? Go! Come on! Go! Come on! Let go! Treadmill! Last! Abs up! Come for free, Mama. Let's go! You're not getting it here. That's for sure.
Okay, that's a good point. Mind. You're not getting in here, as you just said. If you're not, your brain dictates everything that you do, right? And I very often think that people like this, I feel like they should see a therapist before they should see a personal trainer. Especially a personal trainer who, I don't know enough about her backstory to be able to comment. Maybe she was in a position where she felt disadvantaged, because very often the most intense people are the ones who were in the same position as the people that they're trying to help, because they know the pain, they know the requirements that it took for them, for their mind to switch things up, for them to move from living a story which they've made up in their head to actually going through a metamorphosis and deciding to make a change in their life. So maybe that's what she was like.
Don't be so selfish. Were you a failure before you got here? Is that what you're...
She speaks a lot of truth. It's through a bit shouty sometimes, but
It's about... Come on. Helen, that's way too easy for you. Come on. No, shut up. Focus. Get on the ladder or go out the door. Dan, no! Come on, treadmill now! You broke these when you were on the Big Loser campaign. No lung cancer for you. What are you talking about? Step up. Step up. I can't. I'm not gonna say it again. Four, three, come on, have no out, no out. I don't want to hear out. Out. Come on. You're not acting strong. You're acting pathetic. Every time you lay down, I'm gonna think dead father. That's what I think. Now get up. Let's do it. Shay, get the stop. Good job.
so I think truth is an underappreciated asset these days, and obviously she's playing up to the camera somewhat, but I think there's an awful lot of information there which I think we can take, which is clients don't always know what they need. I think all the best trainers understand, okay, is this time to push or to pull? Do I push them? Do I bring some truth into the arena and say, look, you are letting yourself down by not doing this, by not following through, and we're not going to be able to break the cycle if you keep doing it. That's just the reality. And you're going to keep paying me money, and we're going to be in the same position in 2 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years' time. And then there is a time for pull, where it's much more empathetic, And these things are not, you don't use one with one client and one with another. You use them both at different times. Because maybe potentially you've got a client who is quite up straight and not very comfortable with sympathy of their position. And so probably what they do need initially is that they need to build trust. They need to trust that you can push them, and they need to trust that you can tell them the things which other people are afraid to tell them. Like, you are failing yourself by not turning up. You are failing yourself by not completing this set. Kind of what she's doing. Maybe tone down a little bit, but there's that. And then once that level of trust starts to get built between you and your client, you'll find that actually very quickly they're probably quite soft under the skin, and then you can start to kind of empathize with their situation a bit more, and they'll start to soften up once they trust that you are able to push them as hard as they feel that they need to be pushed. So it's horses for courses, I think is the strategy here. I think she's got one approach, and away you go. And I think that it's obviously great for television. It's not very sustainable, but it's important to have. It's important as ever to strike a balance. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.